pretty beefy to take down. Endpoint, they've proven in the past, they've proven it in the recent past that they're more than just a, you know, a laughing stock of the pro scene. Well, they are not, obviously, that bad joke, but you know, they are going obviously through some issues, or have gone through some issues in the past. Here though, today, and well, within the past, recently, they've proven they're a great team that has definitely a lot of potential behind them. forZe, as we can see, the T side beginning will be a little bit off the hook. It's going to be 3 players through lower, trying to make their way on towards mid, most likely entering and trying to secure some sort of early dominance. Perhaps a show of hand, a show of force to see how the response from Endpoint will come through. But logically, pushing on towards short, moving forward, looking for that quick kill. And well, Surreal will be caught immediately. That is going to be an issue. Right now, Endpoint have nobody to respond against this. Although Crucial, only good for the one, and that's not good enough.
One will go down. Flit already holding off the flank. Spots at least Robin. Can't deal with him as of yet, though. Back down to a 3-on-3. They've got the defuse kit on Mighty Max as well, so there is no reason to try and force their hand early without being 100% sure. Flashbang ready to go over the top, at least blinds temporarily, but the site already taken out. Robin and Mighty Max, that's exactly what they needed to do. Defuse will already come through. No chance, of course, to prevent it. Thomas even gets the job done with the dualies. First round on the board for Endpoint. Defuse coming through nice and strong for them. forZe, as expected, into the AK buys they will go.
Yeah, they will be able to take it. Endpoint, that was quite the retake in itself. forZe, though, no surprise, as you said. Galil's AKs and scouts coming out. Interestingly enough, they have still a very strong buy considering what they had to go up against with, and this is going to be a bit of a slowdown. forZe know they have a better buy than what really Endpoint can offer almost, and in this case, if they take it easy, if they give themselves a chance, more specifically to Zapar with the scout, at the very least, he can tag up a few and make it easier to take challenges. Flit already finds the initial opener. It's going to be Surreal to be caught, trying to push his way through upper tunnels, as the rest of forZe is remaining calm and collected. Now, looking at their current setup, one would wager this could be an A split again through short. Although it could quickly turn back in towards a B split as well, if that is going to be the call, perhaps that Jerry will make. We can see just slow and steady seems to be the answer. I like this, you know, taking their time. A tag on Robin, as I've said, give chance to Zapar, and he will take it. 37. Time is ticking. Let's see if forZe actually commit for the A split.
Yeah, time really is on their side here, with Crucial and Robin both lined up on short, ready for the attack. First man through, Crucial. Already put under a bit of duress as Face Crack does get away with one. They'll trade it as easily as that. No issue whatsoever there, as Max, last man alive, already being spotted by Face Crack. And of course, should not be allowed to escape here in this type of position. Flashbang will at least serve him good for one. But there we go. First on the board for forZe, straight back onto the podium. Endpoint now put onto a reset. Themselves will have to, unfortunately, go into a force buy round. So a chance for forZe to get off to a 3-1 start, like Fate did on the first map that they played. forZe looking to do exactly the same. See what they can find heading into the early start here on the T side. Scouts inside of mid, trying to be a bit of a nuisance. Zapar, as we know, lightning fast flicks with the scout, always good for tagging those early players up. Robin takes a little bit of a hit, but nothing too major. But again, force buy should not be paying off and should see forZe most likely guaranteeing that nice little 3-1 start. Endpoint's map pick at least in the hands early with the forZe squad, and that's exactly what they'll be looking for. forZe, you know, they don't want the embarrassment of losing another 2-0 to this side. Yeah,
that would definitely be a bit of a big hit to their egos, to their personas, and it will have a bit of a negative effect on the overall performance potentially moving forward. But Jerry boosts jump over towards short, well executed, well done. Unfortunately for Robin, he cannot, or excuse me, for Mighty Max, he cannot support that too long, and he has no Kevlar. And of course, Robin on middle will be caught trying to peek out his way to get a little bit of information. forZe, classical, just splitting through middle. It's going to be Flit coming up through tunnels, taking it easy, and yeah, there we have it. forZe, nice and slow, taking their time again, and approaching this very methodically, making sure they don't get caught in a crossfire potentially. They know how dangerous pistols can be, and of course, Endpoint, we've seen it time and time again. Deagles can absolutely destroy you if you're not playing it, or if you don't show enough respect against it, of course. They did it against Smash on Train, and I have no doubt we're going to be seeing something of the like potentially here on in our best of 3 as well. forZe, on the other hand, though, they are at least going to take themselves up for a round further. Endpoint, I mean, it's the CT side. Obviously, an eco is to be had. The real... I wanted to say that maybe he could have tried to attempt to retake, or to take that scout on middle, but then realized, of course, there will be somebody watching over that weapon. 2-1. Endpoint have themselves a full eco.
forZe are off to a nice start here, like you say. Eco round to come for Endpoint. Your scout kept in the hands of Max. The rest, those very basic pistols, already will have a little bit of lower control, but forZe realizing that they are up against just the pistols, will be taking that long control straight out onto the back of that position. Should be able to very easily lock down the site without very little competition. Point will rotate back over toward the A side, though. Smoke definitely just missed its target. Like it caught something on the way past. Definitely not the right place to drop that smoke. Either way, though, do not have a flashbang. Fairly common in this strat to flash yourself through the smoke, stack 5 players and see what they can find, but this time FaceCrack already deals with the first nice and easy. Jerry does get shut down by Mighty Max. A great little refrag to find. Flit returns one of his own, but not before the damage is done. Crucial.
Oh boy.
Takes out Flit down to a 3-on-2. The bomb is stranded in the eye line of Mighty Max as well, so that gives him a chance to watch over this with the scout. A 3-on-2, and thankfully Z-Power can upgrade his weapon, but still, this one not yet settled. Up for grabs as forZe, they look for the refrags, but Mighty Max again. Endpoint, fair enough, they just win a full eco.
I did call out that, you know, there will be seeing full eco victories or Deagle victories among, even in this best of 3 amongst the next few rounds. I didn't expect it to happen that quickly. forZe a little bit ignorant of how much damage a single scout can do and how much the pistols can do, I guess. And again, we see that forZe at times losing themselves, but well played by Endpoint, of course. We can't deny the fact Mighty Max and, of course, everybody being able to chime in beautifully, making short work of forZe almost with very limited resources. Unfortunately, though, the next round opens up with a bit of a shabby start as Surreal gets caught trying to be a bit of a ninja close to mid doors, as Robin will take his position for this mid control. Endpoint have a very stretched defense towards mid and B, and this leaves them vulnerable. forZe, though, they have yet to snuff that out, and as long as they don't, Endpoint should be quite safe in their own positions. Crucial on the op. This is where the challenge will be met by Z-Power, though. Although, no, Z-Power is not even close range. Never mind. FaceCrack will be headshotted immediately as Crucial hits a mind-bending shot. And Endpoint are forced to still take a defensive stance, but they got the return. That's what matters here. And forZe now are left wondering where the weakest defense might be.
forZe will be grouping up toward that B bomb site. Z-Power will take first little port of entry, looking to see what he can find in the close corner. Nothing to be gathered as of yet. Mighty Max will drop back to ensure safety of the site itself. Now Mazer and Flitz already guaranteeing the first 2 kills. That will be the bomb site lost. The round to follow it. Save coming out from Endpoint. 2 weapons is good, but with forZe now establishing at least an early little lead, keeping 4 alive, they can stabilize that little bit extra. Thomas only saving a Galil as well. It's not great. Thankfully, Crucial on the AWP adds more value to this one, but great start for the T side. forZe 3-2. Eco round to come on the side of Endpoint. Chance to double the lead and at least get that little bit ahead before Endpoint start to become stable. We do have to realize, though, Endpoint, they are a very solid T-sided team, even more so than their CT on most maps, which, you know, if you're forZe right now, you probably realize that you do need 9-10 rounds or so on this T side just to head into the second half and still be secure, because Endpoint will be able to turn things around on the T side. We saw that on Train back in last week's matches, and we've seen it on Dust 2 as well, Vertigo even, for example. So there's many maps that Endpoint are a very solid T-sided team on, and that's something that forZe, they do really have to look out for, and just make sure to be careful that they aren't giving anything for free up to Endpoint. Oh, sorry, up to forZe. The last time that we saw them on Dust 2, they got 13-2 CT side, so thankfully forZe have made it better this time, but we'll see where they can take it. They have gone for the force buy, though. Endpoint investing everything into this round.
Not surprised. Crucial has the op that he saved up with, and he can definitely make a big difference. We've already seen this before, and there's no denying he can be extremely effective, though. They hear the scope, or at least the jump on short, the boost, and Zapar is ready for the challenge as he takes down Crucial. Robin can, of course, at least pick up the op, but... oh, they're gonna tower it. Yeah, they will. I like it. Face crack. Does he predict this, though? Does he... pre-fire perhaps the angle? Oh, he sees the drop down. He will realize it a little bit late, but he does. Face crack gets headshotted. That was surreal mid-move with a deagle through the door with a headshot. Damn. Pretty crazy. forZe, though, gathering the storm for the B hit. Going to be very dangerous. This is... I'm not particularly fond of this, but fair enough. If they want to try it, let them try it. Let's see how far they can go. As Surreal takes a bit of a blind shot. He did spot Jerry momentarily. It's not enough, though. Mighty Max, the angle is favoring him. He still takes 2 down with him. But it might not be enough. A 3-on-2 retake. 22 seconds and counting. Smoke deployed. Gives them more than enough to cross safely. Oh, Thomas is going to push through the smoke. Yes, he will. The pop flash is not really going to be effective, as apparently Flit was holding on an anti-flash, and that is going to be the round gone. 4-2 as forZe take the lead, and Endpoint perhaps a little bit overconfident, overzealous in their own respect.
Yeah, not a great start for the CT side here. forZe able to establish not just round number 4 now either, but should be round number 5 on the way fairly soon, as Endpoint will have to take the eco. Robin does manage to swipe himself that AWP to carry over into the next round. Might even keep it for himself, considering that he does have Kevlar to play with. Oof, nice shot onto face crack there. Hitboxes working out in his favor. We'll be able to eventually carry this into the next round. Zapower not getting the angle, of course. There we go. Eco round to come here. Money is not great. They'll get 2,400 after the fact this next round. forZe so far looking very, very solid here. With the half buy that they've gone for, or a little bit of a partial investment. It's not massive, but with 2,400 round loss bonus into the next, this might even be a double eco here on the side of Endpoint, so
it might as well, yeah.
We'll see what'll come, but very easy cleanup of the round itself. Crucial exposing his position inside of mid, but already down to a 5-on-2. This will be 5 on the board for forZe, unless Crucial can turn it around. Robin maybe with a bit of assistance, but only gets away with the 1. And yeah, I think so. I think it should be a double eco here. So forZe, maybe even a chance to extend this up to 6 and really start this first half very well.
Bit of a shaky start, given that Endpoint chose Dust, and going to be problematic. It's definitely going to give them a reason for a bit of a headache moving forward. Crucial, if he can save the op, He's going to do himself and his team a great deal of, going to give himself and his team a great deal of chance and an opportunity for the next. As we can see, the hunt continues though, and, well, it will be successful. There goes Crucial. Double up might have been an option. Double eco might have been an option, but it seems like they're going to go exactly against that. And I have to agree with you. I would have preferred to see a double eco, since economy, and more specifically the utility, is a problem. And again, Crucial on the scout. Not that he can't hit, not that he cannot kill. It's just the fact that, simply put, the scout is that much less effective than an AWP. Oh, face crack. Blinded, though, can cross to blue safely. He's ready for that Molotov if in case they want to flush him out, though. 3 players heavily engaging. Make it 4, actually, as Crucial tags on and is tagged by Almazer. As the entry succeeds for forZe, they will be coming in hot as Robin tries to take him out. Surreal supports the hold, as there will be a player caught trying to push on towards long, and well, all of a sudden, a 3-on-4 with Endpoint currently having a decent enough of a position to work with, but it's Flit the double. Whew. And we're back thrown into this 2v2, a long position, still not secure. This is a problem. Flit, if he runs with his knife out. And even then, Thomas. Oh boy, Thomas. Oh, he plays this like perfectly. A boss. Yeah.
And that's it. They'll get away with the round quite simply. A little bit more expensive than they would have liked, but they can retrieve, I believe, an AWP perhaps off of the back of this one. But either way, Endpoint will get the round. A much needed one as well, just to ensure that this side continues this survival here. Flick, great double, but fortunately, Thomas's position just not overpowered, but just not checked, unfortunately, by Flit. Got a nice little bit of timing in his favor. 5-3. forZe back onto the reinvestment, of course. They've got money in the bank even to be prepared. Tactical timeout, though. Give them that little bit of discussion time. They do know that Endpoint will be on that reset potential. As soon as they lose a round, they'll be back down to no money, especially if it's this one. That is where things will become an issue for them. But we shall see. So far, forZe decent rounds here in this first half. 5 is that minimal target that we set, but for a map like Dust 2, for the players that they've got, they can look to push into 6-7 or so. But here we go. Nobody really having a crazy game. Flit on 11 frags to top the leaderboard. A couple of quiet performances from the likes of Surreal and so, but it is very early days. Jerry as well, not really off the mark, but nobody... Ooh. Major lagging behind. Zaypower, that shot looked like it should have connected there, but didn't. Nice nade on the Mighty Max, but yeah, that shot from doors.
Previously, yeah, and that shot from the previous round looked like it did connect and it didn't look like it should. Definitely weird lag sometimes here. I like this from Endpoint, by the way. I like that they're taking control into their own hands, that they're taking long, deep. Seems to be well predicted by Almazer, at least to a certain degree. forZe, though, they're focused yet again towards short. I'm not liking the fact they dropped the bomb in lower, though. It leaves them, I'm not going to say stranded, but it definitely forces one of the players to move back and lose his positioning, whatever it might have been. And with all 5 grouping up on short, this sets up a very dangerous idea that, if executed correctly, might still not work. And that's something that forZe might be kind of not really taking into account. Flit on middle, trying to be a nuisance. He is mollied out of position, but here comes the push, here comes the take. Pop flash is blinding Crucial completely. The overtake of the site is complete as the Molotovs cover everything. Thomas, though, takes down Flit. That's the flank on mid I was talking about. A crucial position to not lose, as forZe will play a 4-on-5 after plant. They've got 2 men on short, make it 3 actually. And if they put all 3 here and hold it down like a fort, then chances are this can succeed. Yet then again, you look at 2 Molotovs and a smoke from Endpoint and things can get quite dastardly bad quickly. Oh, Robin. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Crucial pins down inside a Goose. Inside a Gandalf spray.
No time.
There we go.
Wow.
No time. Did not commit to the defuse. Jerry Gets away with it just barely. Max even dies for the bomb blast as well. forZe, they get away with the round, actually.
That was better than expected. A little bit of a slow retake from Endpoint, if I might add. They definitely took their sweet time. Given that Zaypower did miss his first shot towards, from Gandalf towards a ramp, you know, you would have thought that the CTs might take advantage of that and push faster onto site itself and try and, of course, deny the short challenge. Even with a quick commotion and a quick frag on Zaypower, seemingly still running out of time as nobody went to defuse in the smoke. And well, in the end, it is what it is. 6-3 as forZe keep the lead, deepen it further, and force a Nico out of Endpoint.
Ooh, crucial. Nice little boost. Away with the frag onto Jerry, gives him that freebie for the return. Down in CT as well, has the chance to even make more damage off of the back of this, and of course he will. Pins down Zaypower, goes aggro. Loses the weapon though, unfortunately. Oh, Flip just gets out with the spray. Almeza there to back him up. The round will be secured. Robin may be sent down towards mid, tasked to try and get the AWP, but not that it will make a difference. 7-3, forZe. This is a great run of rounds so far. Able to really start to kick things into motion now on this T side. Put Endpoint, again, under further pressure. This is a start comparison, not just to the train game that we saw previously, but the best of 3 that forZe played against Endpoint just last week. Again, went very one-sided for Endpoint. This time, completely the opposite at the moment. Again, it's what we've talked about. We don't know which version of forZe we will see from map to map. I think it's definitely apparent here, knowing that the last time that they played Dust 2 against Endpoint, it was a 16-2 victory for the Endpoint side. Ability not great on this one, though. forZe looking to just put the pressure on early. They've got full sets of nades on every single player. Again, straight into that default. No reason to commit. Bomb is at the back of the spawn. No reason to overextend early. They'll look for that pressure in these choke angles to start the round and then commit later on. It's a nice way to play this T side. Crucial, though. He is going to go looking. He's a little bit tentative. The timing just not going to be there for Zaypower. Crucial fires a warning shot and backs away, but FaceCrack spotted him on the angle. Gets himself back to safety, though. forZe wise enough to pull away, and they get a first kill inside of mid. Max dead, and this is where forZe will begin to put on the attack.
The real holding the line, nobody checking CT, nobody flashing, nobody smoking. Well, a little bit of a late smoke, really. Surreal the second as well, as Robin holds the close corner towards the B tunnel. It's Zaypower that walks out of it unobstructed, yet still finds himself in a clutch position through any 5 seconds to retrieve the bomb and go back to site to plant it. Well, he finds the first Thomas, looking for the engagement and losing it. As now, down to Crucial it goes. Glass cannon, as you said. Oh, the pop flash will work. And they know where he is, or at least he knows where he is. 12 seconds. Time is everything. 10 seconds. This has to be made now by Crucial. He has to move into position. And playing this retake is going to give him very few chances. He has no Kevlar, no utility, no kit. That leaves him vulnerable, to say the very least. And oh, he just spotted him cross. There we go. Back into a one-on-one still. Zaypower. Is he gonna take? Oh yeah, he's gonna take the challenge. Absolutely, he's gonna take the challenge.
Ooh, timing might be an issue as Crucial. Able to get into the right position at the right time. We'll get the round based on the 1v1 retake. Giving Endpoint round number 4. Saving this side yet again from the depths of a very one-sided half. Money is not great for this side though. Crucial will be required to drop out an M4. Just for the rest of the side to be able to have a competent buy round, but that first kill from Surreal was a little freebie given to him by
Jerry.
forZe there. Yeah, the smoke's very late. Zaypower doing his best. Try and keep the side afloat, but not able to this time. Max, early tag through mid doors again. Zaypower pinning down that early damage. Spots him on the edge of the Molotov smoke. Wasn't quick enough to take the shot, but falls back safely either way. forZe again, though. Back into these defaults. Keeping the bomb at the back of the spawn. No reason to overcommit. This is exactly how they've been running it all half long. We'll see what it provides this time. Economy not great for Endpoint. Breaking both of these sides, really. Whoever loses will be down onto an eco, so...
Yeah.
High time for both of these teams. Oh, they're going to orchestrate the boost here. Might just pay off for a freebie. Ooh.
Oh, the smoke is dissipating just enough.
Oh.
Yep, there we go. I wanted to say what ticked me off in the last round was the fact that Jerry pushed alone and he had two players in the middle, right? So again, forZe, you know, it was on their side, the mistake that they failed that round. And well, luckily this time they take it easy, they work as a team, and they secure the entry and subsequently the round as well. Beautifully done. This is what forZe is all about. And Endpoint, that's one scary part, as we said, as you mentioned. Which forZe which forZe will be seeing, which forZe will be meeting here, and Endpoint unfortunately have the unlucky streak that they will be meeting the forZe that everybody fears, that everybody knows how good they can be. And right now Zepa are, not missing a beat. The rest of his teammates, of course, very careful how they play for the most part. And then generally speaking, forZe keeping a very close tabs on their maneuvers. And Endpoint 8-4, already starting to slack behind quite heavily. First half, in theory, in practice, on paper, being already in the favor for forZe. And given that this is Dust 2, of course, a minimal advantage goes to the T side by default. Let's say if they can secure 9-10, so double digits, if that's going to happen, Endpoint is in dire trouble, to say the very least. Either way, we do have ourselves a rebuy for Endpoint, of course, and a scout for Surreal, with an MP9 and a FAMAS to support that M4 by Thomas.
Not a great buy round, but it keeps weapons on the side of Endpoint. Especially with forZe already getting the first half in their favor. Leg shot only, though, onto ZE Power. Will connect the dots, but not connect the frag. Crucial, the first player dead here, and that is not a good start. Losing out on the more vital side hit, or vital aspect of the Endpoint purchase. Leaves the most powerful weapon unmanned right now. Smoke down towards middle. ZE Power aware of what could be as pressure is put onto the smoke. Just that little bit. Nice little nade again onto Mighty Max. Has not been treated nicely inside of the mid doors. Jerry confirms the frag as well. Mighty Max, he's being bullied in and around those doors. It's a rough day for him so far. 48 on the clock. Down to a 5-on-3. If forZe do hit the A-bomb site, they've at least got their majoritively defensive side stacked. But again, with a scout and an M4, it is incredibly limited. And with forZe not yet even decided, seems like back towards B they will go, and Endpoint. This might just be the worst decision they could make here. Robin spots out the player on short, though. Back to the B site he goes, but already ratted out. Flit takes the frag, and that'll be the round itself. 9-4 eco to come for Endpoint forZe. They'll be taking double digits, most likely.
Yes, they will. By the looks of it, that's exactly the case. And Thomas, even a saved M4 here won't really change the current reality that Endpoint is being forced into. An eco is a must. At the very least, or at the very most, that they can go for a pistol or two to be bought up there. Thomas, of course, saving the M4 would have gone a long way, would have helped Endpoint immensely, and at least having somewhat of a fighting chance, even in a round like this. As we said already, we saw the third round of the map itself being a full eco victory for Endpoint. Yet this is getting a little bit dangerous, a little bit crazy. Timeout going to be used, the first one for Endpoint, as they will be discussing amongst each other. Maybe just a breakdown of a strategy that Mighty Max might present to see what they can do, to see what they can actually reply with to forZe.
So far isn't too much, unfortunately. There's a very stark contrast to what we have seen so far from the side of Endpoint, and not just in terms of their best of threes or map performances, but Dust 2 as well. One of the maps that Endpoint were fairly stable on coming into this series in terms of having quite a positive win percentage. Surreal, though, nice return. Almeza, however, spotting out the majority on short. Surreal gets away with the second frag as well, dealing some very nice damage and even goes for a third. Closed out nicely, though, 10-4. Final round of the first half here. This is seeming like forZe's game so far anyway. They can close out 11. That would be a perfect start for them, especially moving into that second half. But we shall see. Final round. They've got an AWP on Crucial. They at least have their sniper ready. Plenty of utility. Diffuse kits as well. Face crack out towards long. Does already get spotted. Nades will come flying in. See how long he survives, but he can cross safely. Flit has the angle covered. They can at least get him out of that position at least. Flash over the top to ensure that as well. But good damage to start. forZe are even staying committed down long here. This might be their choice of attack here in this final round, perhaps.
When you think about it, yeah, like, you know, long control is not easy to take. If you pay a price for it, certainly then you don't want to let it go that easily, that quickly. But Surreal, his timing couldn't be better as Jerry just turns around to see his untimely death. Well, as you said, damage to begin with was good. Face crack down to 34, but now the first frag is even better as it allows for a bit more control to be established by Endpoint. They take upper B. They have themselves pretty much half of the map, well, two-thirds of the map in their hands almost, and they have all the information they need. I'm not sure why they're still sticking into upper B with two players. I mean, at this point, a second should be running straight towards A. And sure enough, they have, what, Mighty Max and CT, Crucial on short. This defense... never mind. Okay, never mind. I didn't even spot their third player there. It's all fine. It's all dandy. But still doesn't seem to be enough even then. Nis Thomas is the only one to find a return. A side being taken over. forZe not too shook up by the loss of a few players, and my god, they will make it even easier.
Look at 11-4 the difference on that leaderboard.
Oh yeah, that is... It's getting apparent, isn't it?
Definitely is right now. Endpoint having a real rough time so far here at the start of Dust 2. Especially that this is their map pick as well. They have got the T side to turn it around, but you feel like forZe might have already guaranteed, if not too many rounds, almost on that precipice. Look at the way that they've played Dust 2 before against some of these sides, and they've never really had a double-digit lead in the majority of the games. They've always had a 9-6 or an 8-7 or a 10-5. They've never really had an 11-4 to play with, so we'll see what they can do. But before we get into the second half, of course, a giveaway provided by Skin Baron available for you to play and enter with, of course. Make sure to go to @the Esports Bible on Twitter. Check the pin tweet, !! Giveaway in the chat. A Bayonet, Damascus Steel, and M4A1S, and plenty of voucher codes worth €10 a piece. Go over to Skin Baron, check those out. Pistol round to come, though. A nice start. Good nade onto face crack. I believe he might have even been spotted. Not too sure, though. Utility will fly in, but forZe, they seem ready for this A-sided take as Flash is coming through. Face crack already guarantees a first, a second,
face crack.
And a third from him as well.
Baby, look at the beauty here, and in the end, he does get tagged, but he did his job. He did his duty. He held on to car position for far longer than what you usually see out of the CTs themselves. And Robin already headshotted, no Kevlar. This pistol is going to forZe, that much is clear. And the worst part here for Endpoint is the fact that, you know, they get themselves in a bit of a precarious position. I mean, losing the second pistol at 11-4 is definitely going to be a problem. And having to deal with it is going to be an even bigger one. Given that they had no plan, so force is out of the question. And given that it is Dust 2, any force that you go for, even as the T, unless you have AKs, Galils or something of the like, you are definitely limited on all regards. And so far, we can see the aggressiveness from forZe just indomitable. They don't seem to care. They really don't.
Seriously. Realizing that this 13th round might come easier than expected. Mid control given up by this T side. They'll commit through long here, but as they run into the AUG, a very confined spray. Face crack does get dropped down low, but Zay Power already down on Carr. Nice shot by Thomas. FaZe will take the exact same position, though. Deal already some hefty damage, leaving Thomas down at 48 points of health. Round number 13. Endpoint back on to the rebuy. Their first one of this half, of course. But they lose this, and forZe, they'll already be on map point here on Endpoint's map choice as well. That is the scary part. This is Endpoint's sort of, you know, home turf in this series. They lose this one. They go on to Mirage, and sure, it's an okay map for Endpoint, but forZe, they seem to be not just on a roll on Dust 2, but gain the confidence from clearing out the Fate game, have gone into this series knowing that they can get out of the playoffs very easily. And that's exactly what they're looking to do here.
And it has been a while since forZe have gotten out of the group stages through basically a winner's match. Usually they were always thrown into the lower brackets and then having to fight their way through and through. But either way, yeah, confidence seems to be the key here. And of course it is. Something that, again, even Endpoint are having a little bit of lack of. For example, you know, I have to return back to that round where they pushed upper tunnels. They got the entry on Jerry. It was a 4-on-5 with all 4 players of forZe on the long A site, whilst Endpoint was still CTs, of course. And they did not rotate until it was too late, and that's it. You know, that's usually what will get you a little bit either too scared to react or just not confident enough to, in the end, to play it. But forZe, they lose an entry, they lose A site. And by the looks of it, forZe might actually concede the A site entirely if they realize perhaps their chances of retaking it are now impossible. And certainly now with Surreal taking down Jerry, those chances are even smaller. And you know what? forZe is playing very smart here. They want to make sure they keep those weapons, they keep the utility, and they'll have a buy for the next day. Well, for the next round specifically.
Keeping this side alive for that little bit longer. AUG kept up as well. Flit on the weaponry. They've got enough for the rebuy. They understand that, of course. But that is, like you say, the smarter choice to make. Endpoint, they get there first in this second half. It's going to be quite the lengthy grind back up toward reaching the scoreline of forZe. Not impossible. We have seen it done before. Definitely going to be a cause for concern, providing or depending how this next gun round does indeed go. They can get the rebuys, as we know. Jerry into that utility. Zaypower even down onto the scout. Will be able to guarantee plenty of utility if that's what he goes for. But fair enough, just playing for the Kevlar instead. Keeping his economy stacked up. Moving into the next round or so. Jerry, fast boost onto short. Smoke down already. Ooh, flashbang. Okay, gladly pulls away. Not want to overcommit to this sort of position, but gets away with the first. Max, thankfully, there for a quick trade. Flashbang, not going to be timed well this time as he gets away with one. A dink onto Max only drops him to half, though. Split tagged inside of middle, down to 1 health and a good return. Finally, Endpoint seizing an advantage. 3-on-2 to play in Zaypower. You'll realize now short is clear. Draft Almeza toward the B bomb site. That is where Endpoint will be hitting.
And you could see Mighty Max taking a bit of matters into his own hand, flying like the Batman, and that's good to see, you know. They find that confidence in their aggression, in their pushes, and Thomas, as he shuts out Almazer, that should be the end of the line here. Zaypar has no choice but to save his weapon yet again, and money is actually not as shabby as one could imagine here for forZe. They will have another buy. If Zaypar survives and he saves this weapon, there's almost a guaranteed rebuy moving forward for forZe, with FaceCrack having enough for himself as Flit likewise. Now, this does not mean they're going to be very limited on that rebuy, but they do have that as an option. Or we could be seeing the double eco that we were touting about, you know, that we were hoping to see on the first half of Endpoint, where they really struggled with utility. You could tell that, you know, without flashbangs, without Molotovs early on, they're very afraid of any quick pushes that, of course, forZe do have a tendency at times to do. But as I said, a rebuy, like, it's not going to be perfect. It most certainly shouldn't be perfect, but it's possible if they actually wanted to pull it off. They have a drop from Zaypar. Flit and both FaceCrack had enough of their own to go for an investment. Of course, I understand. Like I said, double eco. They'll play it smart. They have a long road ahead. Well, let me put it like this: they have a sprint ahead of them. They just don't have the energy for it yet.
Yeah, just wanting to replenish, give themselves enough time to generate the momentum to move forward here. Maybe even get out with a couple of kills in terms of an eco. And Almeza, there we go. Sacrifices Thomas down towards long. forZe should now readjust, send a couple players back toward the site, just to ensure the safety. But with the stack that they've got, 2 AKs saved up. Wouldn't even be surprised if they just went for the complete pullback here, save those rifles. Play very smart about it. Again, with the hesitation out of Endpoint to take over towards mid, smokes down will now allow the CTs to just push that a little bit closer. B-bomb site, of course, is fully clear. Almeza, though, times this well. Not enough, unfortunately. Crucial. Thankfully able to turn around at just the right point. They realize now that the B-bomb site is fully clear. Crucial has to be careful. Just about gets out safe, though. That should be the round itself. 13-7. Endpoint so far looking fairly active, looking pretty good on their T side. But forZe haven't really had a solid buy round since that start of the half, so that is what they'll be looking for at the moment. 13-7. Endpoint at least closing the gap.
Yeah, Endpoint running a marathon. They need to conserve their energy. They need to be very careful how they play. Any single mistake could be their last, and we could see that almost on long, playing to the tune of forZe's Deagles. You know, there was definitely a moment where I almost sighed and, you know, said to myself, there we go again, you know, here we go again. Do you know the meme from GTA San Andreas?
Yeah.
Where TJ, you know, just walks like, ah, shit, here we go again. Because that's legitimately how it looked when Endpoint tried to push through long, and is very close for that to be happening as forZe, you know, give them one more kill there, give them 2 rifles to work with. I guarantee you they're going to be running back towards mid and B to fight it. And well, right now, Endpoint, they're going to be going very aggressive through the mid cross. There's a chance this could succeed. 2 players on B for the defense, though. This is a lot harder to break than what they might have initially imagined. Yep, there's one. Oh no, Mighty Max, though. Good return, and a second as well. Although FaceCrack already fast to respond.
Thankfully gets a trade onto Robin. It depletes the B site hold. A 3-on-3 would have been very difficult to take over here, as a retake on the B site, as we know, is incredibly difficult either way. Good utility usage as well. Deploys the smoke and the Molotov. Tunnels to be taken over. Max will start to hear the approach. Realize that 2 players are inside the corner now. Timing could not have been worse, though. Pincer to come, and Crucial missing the shots. 14 on the board for forZe, so they'll get the retake here. Very clean. Keep all 3 players alive. They'll snatch a double AWP as well.
Well, thing is, when you allow forZe to be a bit more free, and when they pick up their utility, when they pick up their weapons, you know you're going to be dealing with a very, very well and resolute enemy, and you cannot be making any short mistakes, any quick mistakes. And Endpoint, it wasn't so much about mistakes, it's more about how they played the afterplan and how they just couldn't succeed in shutting down at least the 2 players on B before the craziness happens. And yeah, FaceCrack as well. I think he had a great part, or a big part, in that overall aftertake or retake, as forZe were allowed to have a man advantage. Jerry through the smoke, this time punished by Mighty Max, as it always should be. forZe, though, they still seem intent on taking short control. This is, oh my god, this is so close. Almeza, though, wins that duel against Thomas, and just like that, we're back to 3-on-3. And again, my point being proven right here, right now. Endpoint, as much as they get themselves refrags and entries,
What's the point?
They equally shut themselves out. Although, yeah, that was Zapar's just that's a bit of a brain fart moment there. Like, I'm not gonna say there's not a reason behind it. Obviously, the reason is to try and get the one up on your opponent, hoping that they moved away from short, thinking you're watching that smoke whilst you're pushing it. But then again, when you think about it, it's a 3-on-3. Now, they don't know if you're the only one on A or not. But even if they do know you're the only one on A, you're still the only one on A. You're still the only one that's holding the A site. So your goal should be to survive. Your goal should be to hold it, not push through the smoke. So that's on ZayPower there. And this round for forZe is, in part, failed by ZayPower.
The A site forces the save out of forZe. Laser and Flit, they will be able to save up, thankfully, the AWP as well, so it's not going to be a massive expenditure. Into the next round, they'll be able to keep up with plenty. ZayPower enough to drop out an M4 and get the AWP in return, so shouldn't be too much of an issue. They might even go for the secondary AWP yet again, keep Flit on the sniper, and ZayPower can buy into his own. I expect the tactical pause to come here from forZe, though. That is exactly the case there. But yeah, double AWP, fair enough. They'll go for it. They will take the costly risk to put up a secondary sniper, but we'll see how it does indeed pay off here. Rifles for the rest. Utility. They have more of it than I expected. There we go. Full sets on 3. Diffuse kit on Flit as well. Endpoint. They are not giving up yet. They are fighting their way back into this game. It was 16-8 against Fate. Of course, Endpoint looking to try and better the scoreline, work their way back. forZe not yet at overtime. Nothing yet secured in this game for them. Still wide open right up until the death here, but we'll see what forZe can do. Double AWP. As long as ZayPower doesn't give up, or any player really, doesn't give up that sort of easy interaction again, they should be okay. Oh, Jerry. I like the idea that he's going for here, though. Mid-control, Flit perfectly blinded, but a great first entry. Jerry just gets out alive as well.
Well, that is going to be a little bit crazy. Jerry getting a frag out of that situation is never easy, but getting out of that one alive is, well, that's the hard part. Flit. Does he re-peek this? He does. Go, though, good flash coming out. Good support by his teammate. Allowing for the challenge, and this time Crucial awaits and gets shut out as Flit, with the third flash in mind, will be able to finally conclude that duel. Although, Robin, well done. He's able to keep the numbers even. Robin, a second as well on mid face, or excuse me, top mid. Face crack on the flank, getting caught. Though ZayPower keeping a clean position towards A site. 3v2. Endpoint, 37 seconds. Time is everything here. As Thomas and Robin have to go for this take of B through middle itself.
Look at what he's doing, trying to push the smoke red well. Almeza, though, right place, right time. Swings and gets both. Bit of a scary one there inside of mid, but they get it either way. 15-8. forZe, same position as their best of 1. Looking to guarantee the first map in their favor and take away the Endpoint map pick.
Certainly looking like that. This is a definitive performance out of forZe that we did kind of expect, but also I didn't foresee Endpoint having to struggle as much as they are, and they're certainly being pulled apart inch by inch. Oh, Surreal. There's a way he could get this one in his favor, although a good informational play there. Flit spots him cross and calls out to ZayPower to get into a better spot. Although, what is this? What is this hold of A? What is this? Face crack out in the open, allowing himself to be blinded and caught completely without any sort of cover, without any sort of support. As Surreal shuts down the play of Jerry. That is going to be the round gone already. forZe have to save, and well, we're going to delay that victory for a round longer.
Point keeping themselves in the game. forZe, they're wise enough to know when to save. So thankfully, they can at least keep decent weapons up. Getting damage out of the round as well is always nice. A couple of players will fall and make it at least a little bit more competitive here. But so far, forZe, like you say, not getting up to victory as of yet. Not being able to close map number 1 so far. A round loss bonus not great either, so it seems like an eco might be on the cards unless they want to drop.
I mean,
MP9 or so, and yeah, Jerry can afford a FAMAS, so they will go for the buy. Not want to leave those snipers without any support. The investment is definitely worth it. We'll see what they can do, though. ZE Power, not towards long already. Challenging Thomas. Not going to be a factor yet, though. Smoke's down, flash is good. Play from the sights here for forZe. There's no need to go aggro. You've got limited weapons. Those AWPs, they're so valuable. You can't afford to lose them in early fights that don't have a massive influence in the round yet.
That's the thing, right? Can't just throw them away. And you definitely cannot deny their firepower as the T or as Endpoint in this position. Bit of a slowdown, I respect that. Endpoint realizing perhaps speed is not the answer here, and well, the answer will present itself in terms of face crack. Just wildly peeking through short, hoping for a quick conclusion or for a quick easy frag. Ooh, Almazer. He spots a player in upper. But the Molotov and the smoke prevent vision long enough and quick enough to not allow a clean shot. Now short seems to be the aggressive point once more here. Surreal and Surreal and Mighty Max getting caught in a bit of a jiggle and a bit of a wiggle. As ZE Power is holding the line, he is dropped down from short, but sees the head. He just sees the top of the head, takes the shot, and Thomas. Sure enough, he gets one, but that is an immediate turnaround. And the double up, as you said, and then as we always insinuate,